What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at basically the same topic again. However, there's a new twist on it. It's not necessarily me coming up with the answer to the question of why Call of Duty is dying, why Call of Duty is like on the decline, but I actually used ChatGPT. I'm sure you guys have heard of this. It's this AI system that you ask it to do something and it spits out a lot of like very relevant, very useful information. And I wanted to test it with a couple of questions, and this was actually one of them. I basically wrote into ChatGPT, and you can do this too, and it'll give you the exact same answer. But I wrote, explain why Call of Duty is dying. So you probably know there's some reasons. I probably know some reasons. Countless other commentators and gameplay channels and just YouTubers and just players in general out there know many answers as to why Call of Duty is on the decline. However, let's see what ChatGPT has to say. They actually gave 5 points. I don't necessarily agree with every single one of them, but for being an AI software system, it's actually pretty relevant, pretty smart. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So hopefully you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. On our way to 9K subscribers. Last couple of videos have done very well, so I appreciate if we can keep that up. But anyway, let's get into number one of the 5 points. Number one, and this is something that I say kind of a lot, but they say lack of innovation. One of the main criticisms of the franchise is that it has become repetitive, with each new installment offering little in the way of innovation or new features. This can lead to a lack of excitement and engagement among players. And this is like ridiculously true. I think it was a Prestigious Key. I don't know. Some YouTuber a couple days back was talking about how, the leap between World at War and COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1, like between each game, there was so much more innovation, between streaks, between brand new perks that we've never seen before, between, iconic maps, sufficient content, none of this like 8 maps at launch nonsense. We were getting like what, 12 to 16 maps back then. Like it was insane, how much content we got back then, and just overall innovation. Nowadays we're getting what, the stick drill charge or whatever, that's the newest thing we get. Every single perk is the exact same at this point. Most of the guns are basically recycled. A lot of the maps are obviously recycled, especially the DLC ones. It's just like, what are we actually playing for? There's nothing like innovatively new, right? And I don't know. I completely agree with this. This definitely leads to a lack of excitement and engagement amongst most players, because while the hardcore people are going to play this game no matter what, they're going to play this franchise, they're going to get it on day one no matter what, right? A lot of people are not hardcore anymore, and a lot of hardcore people are slowly becoming casual. And once you lose your casual fan base, you got nothing, right? Your hardcore fan base is left, and who knows how long they're going to stick around, especially because it's so, there's such a lack of innovation. Number two is an interesting one. They say oversaturation. Another criticism is that the franchise has become oversaturated with multiple releases each year. This can lead to fatigue among players who may feel overwhelmed or unable to keep up with the constant flow of new content. Now, I don't know what they mean by multiple releases each year. Maybe they're talking about COD Mobile, or maybe they're just talking about, Warzone or something like that, as opposed to, or I guess in conjunction with the 6v6 multiplayer game that launches each year. I don't necessarily know if people feel overwhelmed in that aspect. It's definitely not from the flow of new content, but I think it's more so just like people needing a break. People want this 2-year life cycle that we were supposed to get in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but we're not getting this, okay? I don't know if you heard the leaks or whatever, but Sledgehammer is supposed to be making the next Call of Duty in 2023, and Modern Warfare 2 is, I guess, going to go by the wayside come October, November this year. So like, I guess that's that, right? And yet again, casual fan bases are going to have to feel like they have to shell out another $70. I know a lot of YouTubers right now who are not going to do this. I know a lot of my friends who are not going to do this. People feel, I guess, I don't know. They feel like their lack of trust, or their trust has been broken with Modern Warfare 2. Because if a game like Modern Warfare 2 is not going to be good, it's not going to be like sufficient for a lot of people, are you really going to trust Sledgehammer Games again after Vanguard? Especially because Vanguard just came out. I don't know, man. I didn't hate either of these games like a lot. Obviously, these games have like hella flaws, but I know a lot of people who hated both these games, and they're not looking forward to something else. I think the next time people are going to be looking forward to Call of Duty, sadly, is going to be Treyarch's next title. That's what I think is going to happen. The third point ChatGPT wants to bring up here is competition from other games, and this one I heavily agree with. They say the first-person shooter genre is highly competitive, and there are many other games on the market that offer similar experiences to Call Call of Duty. This can lead players switching to other games or franchises, reducing the player base for Call of Duty. This is probably one of the biggest points. This might be number 1 overall. I don't know why they put it at number 3. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Games like Fortnite, Apex Legends. I think there's a new CSGO out coming. Valorant's coming out, or Valorant's been out, I guess. You know, a lot of other FPS games out there. This like Roblox thing that people are talking about. You know, like people are doing whatever they can to stay away from Call of Duty. I think I saw Marksman, was it? He's playing the new Roblox game or something like that. I know a lot of people who are like protesting Modern Warfare 2 right now. A lot of people don't even play the game. They just give update videos on the game because they want to talk about it, but they don't really want to play it. It's kind of funny. But a lot of people have switched, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you're huge guys. Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, like I said before in a previous video, Aiden, he is, I guess, taking a break from Warzone 2. You know, you got a lot of people who are not playing Warzone, but maybe they're playing... what's it called? Like DMZ or like multiplayer instead. You know, people are just not really wanting to play Warzone, not really wanting to play Call of Duty in general. And like I said, they're right. There's a lot of competition right now. There's countless games that I haven't even heard of. I know JB, if JB's watching this, go sub to JB, man. J-Bone to man. Get him to 40K if he's not there already. I think he might have just hit 40K. But yeah, man, that guy's a grinder. That dude's always trying out new games, always giving his honest opinion. Respect the hell out of that dude. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are going to be like that pretty soon. You know, JB's born and raised on Call of Duty, but you know what? Call of Duty is not treating him well, not treating the fan base well. So he's moving on. And I know a lot of people are going to do the same. So yeah, man, competition with other games is huge. It's highly competitive. And yeah, man, that's what's going on with number 3. Number 4, definitely an interesting one. They say the focus on microtransactions. Call of Duty has increasingly focused on microtransactions, offering players the ability to purchase in-game items such as weapons, skins, and other cosmetics. And some people feel that this focus on monetization detracts from the gameplay experience. I think this AI is actually ridiculously smart. Now that I'm reading all 4 of these so far, I think the microtransactions aren't the worst thing, but putting it at number 4 definitely makes sense to me. I think when you focus on microtransactions and when you make it obvious that you're focusing on microtransactions over, you know, actual in-game experience, kind of like how they're saying it here, it makes 100% sense as to why people are going to step away from this franchise, because it feels like you're just nickel and diming us. It feels like you're just doing whatever it takes to get a paycheck, to get more money, instead of actually producing a fun game that keeps us on. I will say back in the day, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, they didn't have that many updates. I'm sure we thought they were like hella flawed when we were playing them back in the day. I'm sure of it. But, you know, they didn't have a constant update. They didn't do a playlist update every week. You know, how were we able to play those games just day in and day out with like no new differences, right? There's like, we get DLC every, 3 months, something like that. We never like were begging for certain playlists. We never like wanted a Nuketown 24/7. Maybe we did, but we never really got it. And they made things like important back in the day. You know, like your whole double weapon XP, double XP weekends. Like those were so big back then because you wanted to prestige. You got stuff for prestiging. It looked cool. Nowadays, no one cares if you're prestige. No, people make fun of you if you're level 450 or 500 or whatever it is. People just laugh in your face. Nobody wants that. You know, so it's just kind of like a sad turn of events in terms of like how Call of Duty has been recently. So yeah, man, I completely agree with number 4. Again, focus on microtransactions is just way too high for the Call of Duty consumer fan base. And the last point that they bring up here is a lack of single-player content. This one I agree with the least, but let's read what it says. Some fans of the franchise have criticized recent releases for focusing too heavily on multiplayer content and neglecting single-player campaigns. This can lead to a loss of interest among players who prefer to play solo or enjoy a strong narrative experience. This is I'll say interesting. I don't fully agree as a player who plays multiplayer experiences and prefers that over single player, but I know there's a lot of people who only play zombies, who only play campaign, and maybe they only do co-op, you know, with their friends, stuff like that. There's a lot of people who aren't on YouTube, who don't go on Twitter, who just play Call of Duty just because the campaign's fun and they feel like that's worth their $70. That's fine. You know, I'm not saying it's don't do that or whatever, but yeah, I guess if there's a lot of people out there who, you know, just buy Call of Duty once, play the campaign once and call it a day, I guess if you get your money worth like that, but yeah, I don't know. I think the expansion of multiplayer content, as in like too many playlists and too many modes, like DMZ and extraction, other modes out there that are not just 6v6 or Warzone. I think those are very distracting and can lead to a lot of people being annoyed. But yeah, man, that's ChatGPT for you, answering the age-old question, why is Call of Duty dying? If you thought this video was interesting, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Tag some fellow content creators if you want to see them do this kind of video, because I think it's interesting to hear what they want to say. I'll definitely be tweeting them this video, I guess, and we'll see how it goes from there. But thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace out.